Hi guys, how's it going? Happy Tuesday. I will try and speak up. I am sitting outside today. The co-working space that I'm at has an outdoor balcony. So hopefully this will work. If you can't hear me, just let me know. Um, yeah. Anyways, happy Tuesday. Like every Tuesday, I'm going live to talk about content strategy for your business, and that could be your website, social media, things of that nature. So I do write a lot of websites. That is a big part of my work. I actually have a couple in progress right now. And as I was going through the content for these websites, I realized that they kind of fall into two different categories. It has a big effect on how I write the content for them. And it also, you kind of have to decide ahead of time, like, okay, do I want a single page website or a multi-page website? And do I need a website at all? So I want to jump into that. As far as, why you should have a website at all and what kind you should pick. All right, so we're gonna start out with why you should have a website. We'll break it down into 6 reasons, make it nice and simple. So a common thing that I've actually thought about this myself. It's just like, okay, why do I need a website if I have social media? If I'm present on social media, that's enough, right? Okay, social media is great, but it's a different creature. It does different things, and it doesn't quite replace having a website. So for example, my own clients, they find me on Facebook 99% of the time. When they book calls with me, I ask them, how'd you find out about me? Facebook. I still have a website. Social media is a great place to get started, to generate leads, but you are limited by the website. So however Facebook has things set up, it's very rigid. You can't move things around and adjust it to your business. It's a very small box. You have to stay inside. So social media is a good partner. That's not a good replacement. So number 2, another good reason to have a website is it shows legitimacy. So once again, the thing about social media is it's just, because it's so easy to set up, because it's so fast to get started, it's a great tool. However, that makes it really easy to to make fake profiles, make fake pages. So having a website, even a basic one, it shows legitimacy. Think about when you receive emails from someone. If you get someone from, heatherboyer@gmail.com, it's just like, okay, that's your personal email. It doesn't feel as serious. But if someone went to the trouble of purchasing a domain, even that little bit where it's heather@puckapith.com, it makes a difference, right? So your website kind of serves the same purpose. So I know multiple clients, even though they find me, like I said, on Facebook, they go and check me out on my website. I do that too. The first business coach I work with, I found her on Facebook, watched her videos, but then I went and double checked her on her website. I wanted to see, it felt like a legitimizer. And then a third reason to have a website. This one actually kind of surprised me, but it's something I run into time and time again. So like I said, I write website content for clients. And then one of the things I hear the most often on why they want to write it is they want the confidence. So like I said, we associate websites with legitimacy, right? And so we feel that for ourselves. In order for me to feel legitimate as a new business owner, marketing myself, I want to have a website. I want to be able to point them to something. I want to be able to have a landing page for them to go to and understand who I am. I want to have an address to put in a business card that's more than just a Facebook page. So, in an intangible way, having a website helps boost your confidence. Okay, so I had this cardigan on inside where it was like super air conditioned, and now I have it on outside. It's actually really hot. Okay, so yeah, the perils of living in the Middle East. Anyways, okay, and there's bugs out here. Okay, so 3, boost confidence. 4, your website gives you more control. And it gives you more control in a lot of ways. Your website gives you control on how you present yourself. So if you want to have a blog, great, you can have a blog. You can't do that on social media. Not really. You can kind of do something like that on LinkedIn, but it's not the same. You can have a lead magnet pop up, on your website, when you go into a website and it's just like, hey, give us your email. We'll send you this free tool, something like that. Can't do that on social media. You can have multiple pages, and that's multiple links that you can direct people to. It's like, oh, here's my services link, or oh, here's more about our company story, whatever. You can also control more, okay, you can communicate with us through email or social. It's easier to do that kind of stuff. Another thing that helps give you more control, and this is important for people who are in more like the e-commerce section, it's how you sell your product. You really can't have much of a sales page on the social media platform, right? especially if you're e-commerce. You can't just, you have to have a website. You really do. And depending on what platform you're using, so for example, like I do my social media membership through a platform called Podia. Another thing that people may use are, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank, but you know what I mean. If you go through a platform, they may take a portion of the profits, but if you're able to sell things just through your website, you get to keep all of it, right? Anyways, so number 4 gives you more control. Number 5, websites give you more data on your visitors. Yes, on your Facebook page, you do get good data, especially if that's where they are. But if you're having people come to your website, you can get a little more information about them too. So if you want to be more strategic, figure out what works and what doesn't, websites can help with that. They can give you more information. And number 6, an important thing about, sorry, there's like a little myna bird over here who's just being very curious. That's who's chirping and talking in the background. So another thing is number 6, take advantage of SEO. So something that people have asked me about, SEO stands for search engine optimization, and I like the summary I found in this article. It's the practice of increasing the quantity and quality of traffic to your website through organic search engine results. So it's a way to create your website in a way where you don't have to pay ads as much. People are able to more easily find you on Google. Google favors you and bumps you higher in a Google search. There's a lot that goes into it, and there's a lot of factors to it. There's a lot of keyword and there is a way to take advantage of it, but it's not. It's a lot of pieces and parts, just so you know. You have to have keyword research, you have to do long tail keywords, on-site SEO, you have to do things off of the website, you need to build links, the age of your website has a factor in all of those things. However, if you want to be able to take advantage of it at all, even if it's in a limited way, you have to have a website. You can't just do it through social media. So those are my arguments for having a website. Now that you feel convinced to have a website, let's talk about how to design it. So there's single page and there's multi-page design. So single page is basically you come to the website and you can just scroll all the way down. There's not really navigation up top. There is, but it jumps to just different subheaders in the website. Or you can do a multiple page design where it's just like you have the header up top and you click to completely different pages which have completely unique URLs. Now there's pros and cons to each, and it all depends on how you want to use your website, what your business is like, how it's structured. There's a lot of things that go into it. So let's go into the pros and cons of each. So, like for example, it's just like I'm writing both a single page website right now and 2 multi-page websites right now. It really just kind of depends on what you have going on and what you want to do. So single page, let's talk about the pros for single page. All right, they're very popular right now, and there's a good reason for it. It's a great user experience. It's very easy. And back in 2016, it was shown that on a global scale, mobile usage for internet usage is going way up. So in 2016, the wires actually crossed, and more people in 2016 got on the internet through their mobile device versus than through a computer. So you want your website to be mobile friendly, especially because the trend just keeps going up, right? So you want them to be able to view your website in a way that's good on their phone, that's good on their tablet. You don't want to leave out that part of your audience, right? Another part of what makes it a good experience, it's a clear linear story. So it's like, think of it like a book. You don't want to just like jump around from chapter to chapter, right? You want it to be a clear flowing story, and if it's a single page design, the idea is to bring them all the way through your sales pitch and your sales story, right? And also when you think about it, like on your phone, if you're on a single page, see if I can pull something up. If you're on a single page, you can just scroll. That's very natural when it comes to mobile design. It's very natural to just be able to scroll on a single page. It's a little bit harder to navigate a multi-page site on your phone. Another pro for single page stuff, they're really good for landing pages. Landing pages meaning you basically have one goal in mind. You want them to sign up for X program. You want them to schedule a call for this service. It's really good if you're very focused on one thing you want them to do. You can't get complicated with it. You can be long with it. You can tell a longer story. In fact, if you do it a certain way, studies show that having a longer copy can lead to an increasement in engagement. Oh, and then there's this other one too that I really like. So for single action goals, because it's so clear, because it is uncomplicated, because it's taking you to one destination, studies show that having a single page website can lead to increased conversions, more than 30%. Okay, that's a significant percentage because they're able to understand it quickly, move through the process fast, and click the button. So if you have a clear thing that you're trying to sell quickly, it's a really good design to go for. And also, single page websites are just easier and cheaper to make and maintain. That's just all there is to it. However, there are cons to this, so let's go through that in case these are applicable to you. So lots of good reasons to do a single page website, especially if you have something simple and singular to sell. However, if you are wanting to scale your business in the future, you're going to want to have a multi-page website. Single page websites are intentionally a narrow focus, so if you later want to try, if you feel like, okay, I'm probably going to want to add this service or that product later in the future, your single page website's not going to be able to support that. So keep in mind how you want your business to grow. If you're going to be adding different things in the future, multi-page might be a better way to go. That way it can grow more easily. Another disadvantage of the single page website is it's one single URL, remember, okay? So even though you may have up top, I know you've seen this on single page websites, it may say, jump to About Me, jump to Services, and it'll jump to different sections in the single page, but it's still a single URL. So there are weaknesses that come with that. One of them is SEO. So if SEO, once again, search engine optimization, is something that you want more strength in, single page is not going to be the way you want to go with that. You may not rank as high on Google. It could hurt your conversions, things of that nature. Keywords are an important part of SEO, and if you only have one page, and you need to be very strategic and short with your content, you can only put a limited number of keywords in there, and that's a whole part of the SEO strategy. So that's the pros and cons for a single page. Once again, the biggest danger that people get into is they want to try and put 10 pages of content into a single page website. So this quote made me laugh. The biggest danger is falling into the trap of stuffing 10 pounds of stuff into a 5-pound bag. So think about this is very much a girl analogy, but it's just like you have a small purse going out for the night, but you're used to carrying a bigger purse, and you're trying to put everything in the small purse that you put in the big purse. It doesn't work. The idea of the small purse is to be sleek. It has a different purpose. You have to roll with what it was built for. So if you, and I'll get into more later, like how you can help decide which is which, but these are the pros and cons. So if you are leaning towards single page, just don't think that you can put everything into it if you have a lot. Let your content guide you, and I'll get into that more a little bit later. So those were pros and cons for single page. Let's move to multi-page websites. So here's the pros for multi-page websites. Mine is multi-page, and for better or worse. It was familiar to me. That's part of why I designed it that way for myself. But again, I write content for both ways. Anyways, pros for multi-page website, and by that I mean you have the menu bar up top, and you have a home page, about page, services page. You may have drop downs underneath the services page, things of that nature. And each page has a separate URL. It's puckapith.com/about. It's puckapith.com/services. You know what I mean? So it's got a different, unique URL. So the pros of a multi-page website: it's unlimited scalability. You want to add a different offering, you could just throw it up there. You want to throw a blog in? Great, throw a blog in. It's easy to grow. It's easy to build on. It's got more that you can add on to it. And also, people are used to it. This standard kind of multi-page website, it's been around since the 90s. People are used to it. So they know it's just like, oh yeah, but okay, how do I find out more about this person? Okay, click about. Okay, how do I find out more about what they offer? Okay, services, click. People get it. So because of the familiarity, people still know how to get around. It's also really good for SEO. If you really do want to take advantage of SEO and look more into it, there's a lot more you can get out of it. So so more pages. That's really important when it comes to SEO. So not only do you get more content, so it's more things that Google can index and search when it comes to searching for you. More individual links. That's good for a lot of reasons. One of the reasons is one of the reasons for good links is, like, say you just want to, someone's curious about your services, you can share just the page, just the link to your services page. So it helps you be more directed on where to send people, right? More pages means more content, which means more places to put keywords, another important part of SEO. And then more pages, just statistically also means, HubSpot did some research on this. Either I read the article on HubSpot or they did that. Anyways, if you want the article on it, I can send you the link. But it leads to more lead generation and conversion. So, and once again, like I said, this feels contradictory because, like I just said, if you have a single page website, there's evidence that that leads to, like, this 30% more conversion, but it's if you're focusing on a very specific point. And then, but if you have multiple services and you have more places for them to build a relationship with you, this also can lead to more lead generation. So you see, so it's not like that binary, right? But SEO does play a factor, and in general, multi-page websites have that stronger capability. And also, the type of your business will really help determine this. So if you're an e-commerce business, multi-page. You need multi-page, period. Are they ordering products or maybe food off of your website? Multi-page. Look at Chipotle, it's multi-pages. So if you have multiple services or products and you need to sell service A differently than service B, okay, multiple pages. You don't want to confuse them by putting everything in one spot unless you have a very singular, straightforward goal, single goal. You're going to want to have multiple pages, and that's fine. People get it. There are cons to it, so let me go into that real quick. One of the cons is, okay, you do have more content. Guess what? It's more work to maintain, not just from an updating content standpoint, but also just like on a website management side of things. Also, just the way that website design works, it's a lot harder to make a multi-page website look good on a phone. So once again, you may run the risk of it not looking good on mobile. Not good. Because the website with multiple pages is bigger, and that could just be more content. It could be more, maybe you have videos, maybe you have lots of photos on there. All of that stuff can make a website slower to load. And guess what? Slow loading websites, people run. They just bounce. They call it a high bounce rate. So if your website has so much stuff on there, it's slow to load, they don't even see the content. So you need to be careful about that too. So, and then a quick note as far as, like, if you do go this route, this is just a basic SEO thing. Keep your menu, like your about, your home, your services, keep that to like 6 items or less. That helps keep it clear and understandable for Google to search it. It's a whole thing, but that's my suggestion in that department, from what I've learned. All right, so now, how do you pick which one that you need for your business? There's a couple questions you can ask. One of the things that you can do is just, before you design your website, write out the content first that you need to have in there. So for example, one of my single page client that I'm working on right now, I reached out to her designer and I asked what she needed from me, like if she had a design for me, and she's like, actually, it makes more sense to me for you to write the content first. Here's some examples of stuff I've done in the past, that way you have an idea of how I usually put it together, and then I make the design around the content. So you can keep that same mindset when it comes to your website. Write out the pages first and see, okay, I need to cover multiple topics, so I need multiple pages. Or I really just want them to do this single action, so I think I can keep it to a single page, right? So write out your content first and let that guide your choice of single page or multi-page. It should be able to surface for you. And you can also ask a couple other questions. It's just like, how important is it that it's mobile friendly? Do most of the people who access it in my audience, because once again, the survey I shared with you, that's on a global scale. That's all the countries, all the people. But what about your clients? Are your clients, more prone to use desktop or mobile? Is mobile important to make sure that that's how they can access you, things of that nature, right? So Again, how many services do I offer as a business? Am I e-commerce? I'm trying to think of like other stuff. Like, do I want to have a blog on my website? Things of that nature. So these are the things that help you figure out if you need your website to have multiple pages. Again, there's not really a wrong or right answer, but there are better fits for better types of businesses. So it's just important to think through it and make sure that you're starting strong, right? And a couple of other quick tips for you before I jump out of here. One, keep it simple. So of course, I work with bookkeepers and accountants all the time, and one thing I just love about them is they're so smart. They know everything. They have these amazing memories, and they're very thorough. The problem is, when it comes to writing effectively, you don't always want to include every single detail. You're trying to achieve a goal, not put in every piece of, hi Kathy, good morning. You're not trying to put in every piece of information and data that you've ever learned in your life to show that you know it. You're trying to achieve specific goals when it comes to writing. And dumping everything you know into a single website is not, it's not the goal. So keep it simple. Less is usually more. Don't just cram all the content in, let it breathe. Even from just a simple like reading standpoint, one of the things that I go through, so I'm putting together this About Me course right now. I'm having a ball with it, and it's kicking my butt, but it's a process to help you DIY your own About Me page so that it's effective, it's authentic. I'm really excited about it. Like I said, it's kicking my butt, but I'm excited about it. Less is usually more. Keep your paragraphs short. Keep your content short. Keep it focused on your goal. Be goal-oriented in your writing. What do you want the reader or consumer to do when they are on your website? What do you want the next step to be? Be objective focused, not just brain dumping, right? So keep it simple. Another thing that goes with that is something I've talked about before is CTAs. What that is a call to action. And that could be a button, that could be a link, and it's just like, call us here, schedule a call today, send us an email here. And excited about the About Me course. Yay! Oh yeah, I'm putting so much into it. It's going to have downloads, it's going to have templates, it's going to go through examples, it's going to break things out detail by detail. I'm really excited about it. Like I said, it's kicking my butt, but I'm excited about it. So for CTAs, calls to action, it's basically telling what the next step is. Now, if you have like 4 of them on a page, so schedule a call here, but also sign up for this here, but also sign up for our email address. If you have too many, if you're telling them to do too many things, it dilutes the power of it, and they're less likely to do any of them. So you, once again, keep it simple, keep it focused. And once again, simple doesn't always mean super short. So something that I do, so I have this content membership, I pre-write social media content specifically for bookkeepers. And a lot of times they're on the long side, and that's for a specific reason. Sometimes super short isn't effective. It doesn't switch your brain over into like a conversation. You kind of need to engage for a minute. So sometimes having a long form single page website, for example, is not a bad thing, as long as you're staying on target, you're fully explaining what you're doing, and you're staying objective focused, right? So keep it simple, but simple doesn't always mean super short, okay? So I don't know if you guys have heard of 37 signals. It's good stuff though. There are studies to suggest that long form content pages outperform their short form content pages. And in one example that they went through, they had a site that was performing well but wanted to make it better. They made the single page site longer, and they did it in such a way where they had a 37% increase in signups compared to the original version. So once again, keep it focused, keep it simple, but not necessarily super short, right? And if you are looking to set up websites, this is if you're super beginner, but it's just I use WordPress. That's really one of the most popular things to do, and you can always purchase plugins for it. It's popular, it's affordable. There are other places like Square, Weebly, Wix. So if you do want to put a simple site together, there are lots of places out there that'll help you do it. And of course, if you need content for it and you're struggling with it, you got me. And if you need help with your About Me page but can't quite afford to hire someone to do it for you, I've got a course coming out soon. It's affordable, it's full of great stuff, and I'm really excited to share it with you. Anyways, that is what I have for you today. I hope that helps. I'm going to go inside because even though I'm sitting here in a cardigan in the shade, I'm also sitting outside in the Middle East in August. So I'm done. I'm done. All right. Much love to you guys. Feel free to drop any questions you have in the comments. I'll get around to them. If you're watching it later, drop me a hashtag replay. And I will see you again next Tuesday. All right. Take care, guys. Bye.